Use my code PAID10 to get 10% off your next order of Advanced GG. This is the best Strand Titan build in Destiny 2's Edge of Fate. If you take a look at this, here's my Thunder Crash Titan with the Cuirass of Falling Star on. Does about 10,000 damage. But if we get Banner of War going and some armor charges, we can do this. Which is doing almost 12,000 damage. And we don't have any melee charges right now, but literally all we gotta do is get a couple of kills, throw a tangle, and in a matter of seconds, we literally have our ability back again and we can just throw it. So you will be able to have this ability much more frequently than you will your Thunder Crash Super. So in this video, we're going to be breaking it all down on how to make the strongest Strand Titan build in Destiny 2. So let's get started.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video. Come on.
Hell
you know the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
So why exactly is this so strong? Well, when the Edge of Fate dropped, Bungie actually updated the Titan Exotic Wishful Ignorance. They stated that maximum PvE Frenzy Blade melee damage bonus increased from 100 to 200%, and the maximum PvE Fletchet Storm melee damage bonus increased from 50 to 200% as well. So we're definitely going to be taking advantage of that. And they also changed the Banner of War. The melee damage bonus for user and allies increased from 40 to 100%. Melee damage bonus is no longer decreased when used with Wormgod Caress, Syntheseps, or Glaive melees. And the damage bonus provided to Blade Fury's melee attacks is unchanged. So Fletchet Storm and Banner of War are going to be our main aspects. Once again, going over Fletchet Storm, while sliding, activate your charged melee ability to leap into the air, knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. And while you're airborne, activate your charge melee again to launch a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. This aspect is super strong. You can unravel a whole entire room of enemies, and will also be creating tangles with this melee. And the Banner of War states that defeat a target with a melee attack, finisher, or a sword to raise a Banner of War that pulses with energy, periodically healing nearby allies and increasing melee and sword damage. Targets defeated by you and nearby allies charge the banner, increasing the speed of its pulses. So when we get a melee kill off right here, you'll see we have Banner of War. And if you look at our melee, it is just going up pretty darn fast. As you can see, we're already more than half of our melee. And at Banner of War times 4, it starts to go up really fast. You can even keep it going with unpowered melees. So since we're on the Berserker Titan subclass, of course we're taking the Blade Fury. So when you pop your super, you can press the right bumper to melee enemies, or you can press the right trigger and it'll actually suspend enemies. For the abilities, we're taking the Rally Barricade. We've got the Frenzied Blade, Strand Melee, Charge Melee ability that dashes forward, slashing at targets in front of you, and it will actually sever them, which will cause their outgoing damage to be significantly reduced. So essentially severing enemies is going to cause them to do 40% less damage to you. We're also going to be taking the Grapple Grenade, which will actually count as a melee ability, and this is going to help us unravel enemies. For the Fragments, we are taking Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. We're going to be able to suspend enemies in our super, and we actually have some artifact perks that will help us suspend enemies. We also have Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. So as you can see, I just wasted all my melee charges right here. We're going to pick up this tangle, throw it at this group of enemies. And as you can see, I got pretty much a whole entire melee back right there, and we create another tangle and we can just throw it again, and now I have a whole nother charge. Get a couple Monte Carlo kills, And before you know it, we're back at full 4 melees. Then we have Thread of Transmutation. While you have Woven Mail, Weapon Final Blows create a Tangle. So all we gotta do is get a couple kills with our auto rifle, spawns an orb, and now we have Woven Mail, kill a guy, and it creates a Tangle for us. And of course we have Thread of Warding picking up an orb power grants Woven Mail. And Woven Mail is gonna be a 45% increase to our damage resistance. So we went over the subclass. Now let's take a look at the Wishful Ignorance. It comes with the Wish Dragon's Talons, gaining additional Frenzy Blade charge. Frenzy Blade and Fletchet Storm briefly increase their damage with each strike. Pulses from your banner for return melee energy based on the number of allies healed. So as you guys saw in the footage earlier, we were getting a lot of melee energy back, and we were just solo here in the firing range. When you're with your fire team, you get a lot more energy back. And while we're talking about armor, I want to suggest to you guys that you guys get your hands on some of the TechSec armor. The perks that come with it state that with 2 pieces, you deal significantly increased kinetic damage to combatant shields, overshields, vehicles, and constructs. Constructs include barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, yada yada yada. But if you're wearing 4 pieces of the TechSec armor, defeating powerful combatants or breaking a combatant's shield with kinetic damage releases a disorienting kinetic shockwave. And you guys probably already noticed that our main weapon is the Monte Carlo, a kinetic auto rifle. So if we take a look at the Centurion, he has a solar shield. So if we break that shield, he does a kinetic tremor, and then this guy is disoriented and he will not be shooting back. And that is pretty cool. So you don't need a full set of the TechSec armor, but I mean, it just is another little cherry on top for this build. And if you don't know what the Monte Carlo does, it states that dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants you a chance to fully recharge your melee ability with each kill. And Monte Carlo does exactly what it says it does. I have no melee charges right here, so I'm just gonna start mowing through these enemies. And it's like almost like 1 out of every 4 kills, you get like a whole entire melee back. Just like that, we're back to full 4 melees. And it also comes with Markov Chain. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. And if you happen to have 5 stacks of Markov Chain, the Catalyst actually states that landing a bayonet melee hit grants melee energy. So we're gonna get this off. As you can see, we are just getting our melee back. As for the armor mods on the helmet, I've got hands on, so we get bonus super energy on melee kills. We've got a kinetic siphon, because we're going to be maining the Monte Carlo. I've got 2 melee fonts. One of these melee fonts gives me a plus 20 to melee, and 2 of them gives you a plus 40 to your melee. I am just shy of 160, so technically when I got armor charges going, I have 199 melee, which anything past 100 increases the damage done by your melee attacks. So definitely shoot for 160. Then on the chest piece, I've got some harmonic strand ammo generation, and I have charged up to increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charge we got, so we can keep that melee bonus up. On the boots, I've got a recuperation to replenish our health and innervation to reduce grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb, since my grenade stat is really low, mainly because I'm just building so heavily into the melee stat. I need something to get my grenade back. Then we got stacks on stacks. Picking up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack. This is just going to help keep our melee fonts going. On the class item, we have a Reaper mod. We'll create an orb after we pop our class ability and get a weapon kill. We got a bomber mod to reduce grenade cooldown when we pop our class ability, and we have time dilation, so when we create an orb and pick it up, that orb will last for 15 seconds instead of the 10 seconds it normally does. Then of course we have the artifact. You're going to want to take Tightly Woven. While Woven Mail is active, you gain increased class ability and grenade stats. I'm also taking Refresh Threads, picking up an elemental pickup matching your subclass, or a Tangle while you have a Strand Super grants energy to the least charged ability. So we got a Tangle here, and if you look at my melee, when I pick it up, it goes up a little bit. Then we have Threaded Blast. Destroying a Tangle with Strand damage increases the radius and explosion of its damage. That is why I've got a Strand grenade launcher, so I can just lob it into this and it'll do a huge explosion. Then we have Shield Crush. While you have Woven Mail, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. And while you're amplified or radiant, your grenade recharges faster and deals increased damage. And last but not least, we got Tangled Web. Creating a tangle by defeating Strand debuff targets suspends nearby combatants. And since this is a melee build, I am taking my Sudden Death Shotgun with 1-2 Punch and Trench Barrel, and then I just have a Strand grenade launcher with Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch. So Guardians, that is gonna do it for the build. There will be a dim link in the description. I gotta say, if you guys have been following this channel for a while, you will know that I am not a Titan main, but I've been having so much fun playing this build. It's very strong. You get a ton of healing from Banner of War. You can output a lot of damage with just your melee attack. Highly suggest you guys try this build out. If you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel. And do me a huge favor, drop a like if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.